Welcome to a very special show on Trump 2.0. In just 7 weeks from now, Donald Trump will be the new occupant of the Oval House. And he's already hit the ground running on how and who will execute the poll planks that got him that resounding and historic mandate. Team Trump has some expected names and ones that have actually caused quite a bit of flutter. With many young faces and some fresh faces, NDTV will give you a deep dive on who will be the key people that will play a major role in revamping US foreign policy and its impact on India. In fact, as Trump adds more names to his cabinet, it is becoming increasingly clear that the new US administration intends to consolidate the already very strong US-India ties, with many saying this could possibly be the most pro-India cabinet in the US in a very long time. Several top posts in the cabinet have gone to leaders who have advocated for stronger ties between India and the US and are known China hawks. And there are at least two prominent names of Indian origin making their big splash into US politics.
For India, the most crucial appointments are those on the 2+2 dialogues, which is the dialogue that takes place between the foreign minister and the defense minister of the two countries. In addition to these two key appointments is the head of the National Intelligence Agency and the National Security Advisor. Since in both the US and India, these work directly with the office of the President and the Prime Minister respectively.
Well, I think we have a lot of data points to go by from the first Trump administration and what he did, particularly on the US-India relationship. I think we clearly saw an elevation of the US-India relationship during that time period, both because of the importance of India, because of its role in dealing with challenges from China, and also because there was a certain respect and personal connection between President Trump and Prime Minister Modi.
One of the most crucial and powerful positions in his cabinet, Trump chose Republican Senator Marco Rubio. Rubio will be the first Latino to hold the Secretary of State position in the US. Son of immigrants, chasing the American dream, Rubio spent a career in public service before being elected to the Senate in 2010 as part of a new generation of conservative Tea Party leaders. Rubio ran for president in 2016 and exchanged verbal jabs with Trump, calling him a con artist, while the president-elect then called him Little Marco. But since then, the two have patched up, and Rubio was also in the running to be Trump's vice president. Rubio has served as a co-chairman on the Bipartisan Congressional Executive Commission on China, as well as Senate Foreign Relations Committee and the Senate Intelligence Committee. In the past decade, Rubio has staked out a position as a foreign policy hawk, taking hard lines on China, Iran, Venezuela, and Cuba, and backed India.
Marco Rubio is a staunch advocate for strengthening ties with India. He has long emphasized the importance of India as a strategic partner in countering China's growing influence in the Indo-Pacific region. Known for supporting the Quad security dialogue, Rubio's new role could boost military and economic cooperation between the two nations.
As Secretary of State, Rubio has a tough task ahead of him at a time when the US is closely involved in both wars in Ukraine and Gaza. While Rubio has had a more muscular approach to foreign conflicts, Trump has been focused on avoiding military interventions abroad. Yet his stances have changed in recent years. Despite being a staunch supporter of Ukraine in the initial days of the war, Rubio has now suggested Ukraine needs to seek a negotiated settlement with Russia, even opposing a military aid package for Kiev earlier this year. Rubio's challenge will be to realign Washington's foreign policy in a changing global order. Trump's next appointee is Mike Waltz, who will serve as his national security advisor. Waltz is an Army veteran with a coveted Green Beret and has received 4 Bronze Stars after multiple combat tours in Afghanistan and Africa. Established himself early on Capitol Hill as a key hawkish voice on matters of national security. A 3-time congressman, Waltz caught the eye of the Trump White House with his national security credentials in 2016. 4 years later, in the days after Trump authorized the drone strike that killed Major General Qasem Soleimani of Iran, Waltz was included in a small group of Republicans invited to the White House who received a briefing on the strike.
Besides being among the most staunchly critical voices on China in the United States Congress, Mr. Waltz is the co-chair of the House India Caucus and has been strongly supportive of the US-India strategic partnership, even calling for a formal security alliance with India. But he has highlighted the threat India faces from China, warned against the China-Pakistan axis as posing a threat to both the US and India, and underlined the economic convergences between the United States and India as well.
He is openly talking about the decline of America, replacing America as a global leader, the decline of Western values, replacing those with what is essentially a techno-surveillance state dictatorship. The first step was Tibet. The next step was Hong Kong. The next step is Taiwan. And to understand the implications, not only would they control 80% of the world's most advanced computer chips, if you look at the geography, they would control the shipping lanes into Japan, South Korea, Southeast Asia, about 50% of global GDP. So the stakes are enormous.
As National Security Advisor, a major role that influences foreign and national security decision-making, Waltz's main task would be to reassess United States' posture towards Ukraine, Russia, the conflict in the Middle East, China, and Iran. But the congressman would step into a position that hasn't always resulted in the warmest relationships with Trump. The former president had a falling out with two of the men who previously held the role, John Bolton and retired Lieutenant General H.R. McMaster. Trump has also roped in Tulsi Gabbard, who was the first Hindu American in US Congress, as the next chief of US intelligence. So who is Tulsi Gabbard and how does she suddenly find herself at the top of the high-profile American intelligence community?
I joined the Democratic Party over 20 years ago. I was 21 years old in Hawaii, and at that time, it welcomed people from all different backgrounds, different views, celebrated free speech, and actually defended those whose speech was being attacked, even if they disagreed with their views. It was a party that stood up for the little guy and represented our values of freedom and liberty in America. I left the Democrat Party because now it stands for the exact opposite of all of those things.
Born in American Samoa, the 43-year-old Gabbard is a former Democrat Party leader with a sparkling resume. A 4-time congresswoman from Hawaii and a lieutenant colonel in the Army Reserve, having served in Iraq. She unsuccessfully sought the party's presidential nomination in 2020. While Gabbard was quite critical of her former party in the run-up to the November 5th election, she has thrown her weight behind Donald Trump. Gabbard has been vocal about the Hindu minority in Bangladesh. In 2021, she had condemned the violence directed at Hindu worshippers by Islamist extremists in the country, saying that such acts reflect a profound misunderstanding of religious values.
It broke my heart to see such hate and violence being directed towards devotees of God in their temples in Bangladesh.
Tulsi Gabbard made history when she became the first Hindu member of the US House and took her oath of office with a hand on the Bhagavad Gita.
Obligation freely, without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion.
She once also presented her personal copy of Bhagavad Gita to Prime Minister Modi. Perhaps one of the most important and defining aspects of Trump's second term will be the immigration policy and roadmap. And this explains the appointments. 3 appointees stand out as the architects of this agenda. Tom Homan, Stephen Miller, and Kristi Noem, all known to be anti-immigration hardliners. Tom Homan, a career law enforcement officer, is no stranger to the national immigration debate. As the former acting director of Immigration and Customs Enforcement, Homan is best known for his unapologetic defense of Trump's zero-tolerance border policies during his first term. Homan has long been a staunch advocate for border security. During his tenure, he expanded family detention centers, intensified workplace raids, and supported the construction of Trump's border wall. But his approach hasn't come without controversy. Critics accused him of ignoring the humanitarian costs of strict enforcement policies, especially regarding family separations. As borders are, Oman's task will be monumental. Securing the southern border amid record migrant crossings, tackling drug trafficking, and addressing human smuggling networks. Stephen Miller is often referred to as the architect of Trump's toughest immigration policies. From the travel ban to reduced refugee admissions and attempts to end DACA, Miller's fingerprints are on nearly every major immigration initiative of Trump's first term. Miller's approach extends beyond illegal immigration. He has pushed for significant reductions in legal immigration, including H-1B visas, arguing they take jobs away from American workers. His push for a merit-based system and extreme vetting measures highlight his national security priorities. Miller's return to the White House is certain to reignite fierce debates over immigration policy, with critics accusing him of promoting xenophobia and undermining America's humanitarian commitments. Governor of South Dakota Kristi Noem is Trump's pick to lead the Department of Homeland Security. A loyal ally of Trump, Noem brings executive experience and a strong stance on immigration to the role. Noem gained national attention for her handling of COVID-19 and her conservative governance in South Dakota. She has consistently supported tougher immigration laws, including opposing pathways for asylum seekers and advocating increased security at the southern border. Her appointment signals a focus on enforcing Trump's immigration vision while tackling issues like drug trafficking and cartel violence. Trump's anti-immigration picks are already drawing sharp reactions, but one thing is clear: America's immigration policies are headed for another transformation under his leadership.
Now on to the kicker, viewers. Let's speak of West Asia. A new wave of pro-Israel leadership is sweeping Washington, and it's backed by Trump 2.0. In a move to cement America's relationship with Israel, two major appointments are due to affect the already shifting sands of the West Asia conflict. First up, former Arkansas governor and uncompromising Israel supporter Mike Huckabee. He will be Trump's new ambassador to the Jewish state and is set to become the first non-Jewish ambassador to Israel since 2011. That's right, Huckabee is no stranger to Israel. For years, he has championed Israel on the global stage. Now, in a critical moment of escalating tensions, his appointment is a clear message. The US stands firm with Israel no matter what the cost. Enter Stephen Witkoff. He's a real estate tycoon, a negotiator, and a key ally in Trump administration's West Asia strategy. I mean, it's not surprising. He's known for his behind-the-scenes role in shaping the landmark Abraham Accords. Witkoff now takes on the role of the special West Asia envoy. His mission: strengthening peace and economic ties between Israel and its Arab neighbors. But this isn't just diplomacy. This is about rewriting West Asia's future, viewers. His deep ties to the region and powerful business network are now at the forefront of a new era of US-West Asia relations. Together, Huckabee and Witkoff represent the Trump 2.0 approach. It's bold, it's unapologetic, pro-Israel, and fiercely committed to transforming the region. As the world watches, these two appointments promise to redefine America's role in the Middle East, standing squarely with Israel and paving the way for a new historic alliance. Trump is doubling down on Israel. West Asia will never be the same again.
Many of Trump's appointments have stoked controversy, sending shockwaves across Capitol Hill. Among them are Congressman Matt Gaetz, who is set to be his Attorney General, and former Fox News anchor Pete Hegseth as Defense Secretary, and Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who will run the Department of Health under the Trump administration. Trump's list of provocative picks are all set to test the loyalty of Senate Republicans, as their confirmation processes could prove to be a challenge. However, to avoid complications, Trump is also pushing for recess appointments, meaning he would appoint cabinet members without Senate confirmation.
So who is Matt Gaetz? Why has his nomination ruffled feathers in Washington? Matt is a Trump loyalist and best known for spearheading the effort to unseat then Republican Speaker of House Kevin McCarthy last year. But his controversies don't end there. Matt resigned from Congress on 13 November, was also facing a House Ethics Committee probe on his alleged involvement in the sex trafficking of a 17-year-old girl, a probe that ended with his resignation from the House. The probe was also looking into allegations he engaged in sexual misconduct and illicit drug case, accepted improper gifts, and sought to obstruct government investigation into his actions. The Florida lawmaker has a history of being a flamethrower in the halls of Congress. In 2018, he brought a right-wing Holocaust denier to the State of the Union and later tried to expel two fathers who lost children in a mass shooting from a hearing after they objected to a claim he made about gun control. His blustering approach has thus left Matt with many enemies, including within his own party. Another controversial pick in Trump's dream team is Pete Hegseth, former Fox News anchor who's up for the job of Defense Secretary. Hegseth is an Army National Guard veteran and Bronze Star recipient, has rallied against women in combat, voiced support for troops accused and in some instances convicted of war crimes, and advocated for the firing of the military's most senior officers accused of supporting so-called woke policies. Despite 20 years' experience in the military, including tours in Afghanistan and Iraq, many have argued that Hegseth is woefully inexperienced to lead the world's most highly funded armies in the world, with millions of servicemen and civilians and a budget over $800 billion. The former Fox anchor has already signaled his early moves at the top defense post, firing the chairman of the Joint Chiefs, General C.Q. Brown. Trump's picks have riled up many within the Republican Party, accusing the president-elect of playing favoritism, picking loyalists with dubious credentials for key jobs.
There are allegations that Trump has picked loyalists with dubious credentials for key jobs. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is one of those loyalists. He's set to occupy the top health post in the country. And it has come as a shock to many, as he's one of the most prominent anti-vaccine activists in the country. The decision is not that surprising, considering the fact that Trump has already indicated during his presidential campaign that he would be giving RFK Jr. the high-profile job. And just last week, the anti-vaccine activist said he would be immediately beginning studying vaccine safety and efficacy, but promised not to take them away from anybody. RFK Jr. is known for spreading conspiracy theories, such as COVID-19 targets certain races and gives others immunity. Mass shootings are linked to prescription drugs. The CIA was involved in the assassination of President John F. Kennedy. The COVID virus actually was genetically engineered, and that the vaccines can cause autism. These are some of the wildest conspiracy theories that he has tried to spread. Ever since the announcement by Trump, experts in the medical community have expressed a lot of concern over RFK Jr.'s expected appointment. It can be recalled that during the election campaign, Trump had promised to allow the anti-vaccine activists to go wild on health, signaling a major shift in the nation's approach to public health. All of that has health experts worried. They fear that RFK Jr. could meddle with key government agencies and amplify vaccine hesitancy.
Shifting away from those who stoke controversy, here are some of Trump's other appointees who will influence American politics over the course of the next 4 years.
Susie Wiles, the Chief of Staff, the first woman at Trump's helm. Well, Susie Wiles is set to break barriers as Trump's Chief of Staff, the first woman to hold the role, as we've covered. Publicly, she is a woman of fewer words, in case you remember, on election night in the US. In his victory speech, Trump called her the ice baby. But can Susie Wiles, who led Trump's campaign, handle the chaos of the White House? That's yet to be seen. With Trump's complex political machine behind her, will she manage his administration's sprawling ambitions, or will she buckle under the pressure? Well, Elise Stefanik is poised to become Trump's UN ambassador, solidifying her place as one of GOP's rising stars. But with her hard-right politics and fierce loyalty to Donald Trump, will Stefanik shift US foreign diplomacy to a more isolationist, America-first stance, or can she bridge the gap between global cooperation and national self-interest?
In a move that is set to give the richest man in the world even more influence and power, US President-elect Donald Trump has picked Tesla chief and billionaire Elon Musk and former Republican presidential candidate Vivek Ramaswamy to run a new Department of Government Efficiency, a role aimed at creating a more efficient government and reduce government spending, which Musk said will send shockwaves through the system. Unlike what the name suggests, the Department of Government Efficiency will not be a government agency. It will instead work as an external agency advising the White House. While the group, which Trump said will help realize long-held Republican dreams, could come under Federal Advisory Committee Act, which dictates how external agencies operate, Musk and Ramaswamy will hold informal roles. This means they would not need confirmation from the Senate, nor would they face ethical limitations. It also means Musk can continue to head Tesla and X. Musk, who spent around $200 million supporting the Trump campaign, aims to reduce government spending by at least $2 trillion. To put this in context, US government spent $6.8 trillion last year. Ramaswamy too had made reducing waste and spending a key policy platform for his campaign against Trump earlier this year.
We're going to be very open and transparent and be very clear about this is what we're doing, here are the issues, this is the math for what's being spent. So we're going to make the spending lower, and if somebody's got a better idea for how to make the spending lower, tell us. But if we don't, we're going to bankrupt the country, and so we got to do something, and it's got to be some pretty big moves.
While the agency will be temporary, with the term specified till 4th of July 2026, Trump's announcement has raised several questions about potential conflict of interest, setting a new precedent for billionaires and their influence in politics. With a fiery cabinet behind him, Trump is all set to shape America's future. The key question remains, from his aggressive immigration policy, promises to vowing to impose high trade tariffs, how much will it impact the New Delhi-Washington relationship? From the early looks of it, it will be a mixed bag. Closer cooperation on strategic goals, US to put Pakistan on the mat for its terror activities, and divergence on trade negotiations.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola Edge 50 Pro, world's first AI-powered pro-grade camera.
हम ये चुनाव विकास के मुद्दे पर लड़ रहे हैं.
Let them come for an open debate with me. I've challenged Eknath Shinde multiple times.
Congress is in the worst situation in this state.
महायुति में भी इससे ज़्यादा dispute है.
Everything is fair in love and politics.
वोट देने वाले ही जिताने वाले हैं ना.
So we worked on 4 options.
NDTV proudly upholds its legacy of trust and credibility. According to the prestigious Reuters Institute's Digital News Report 2024, NDTV is the top-most news platform in the country. Number 1 in both online and offline reach in India. Beating all its competition, NDTV stands for trust. It's a web of frauds, calls, luring emails, threatening messages. Cyber frauds have cast their net wide and everyone is at risk. We track the victims, their horror stories as they get conned online, extorted and robbed of their hard-earned money. How to identify a cyber fraud and how to stay cyber safe. What are your options? Fraud.con, NDTV initiative for cyber safety. Only on NDTV 24/7.
Hello and welcome to India Sense, where I speak with global opinion makers.
The United States has made a strategic decision over the last 20 years to move closer to India.
A $7 trillion economy seems a perfectly conceivable number.
If you want to be a national party, it's that you sort of accept the way the world is rather than want to endlessly hark back to how it was.
Modi is promoting the digitization of the economy, which is accelerating growth in the country.
In today's interconnected world, India's voice is more crucial than ever. When India speaks, the world listens. At NDTV World, we are that voice, bringing you intelligent and insightful news from India and beyond. From geopolitics and diplomacy to economic shifts, migrations, tech disruptions, and the stories of our diaspora. We cover the news that shapes our global future. NDTV World, your new home for global news is here.
तालियों के साथ हम स्वागत करेंगे आदरणीय मोदी जी का।
छत्रपति शिवाजी महाराज की।
घोषणा आणि जनतेचे पैसे लुटणं.
कट कमिशन आणि करप्शनला आमच्याकडे थारा नाही. त्यांचा परिवारवाद आमचा महाराष्ट्रवाद.
महाराष्ट्रामध्ये 1,75,000 जागा रिक्त आहेत. का भरत नाही? राज्याची जनतेच्या घमाच्या पैशाची तिजोरी लुटण्यासाठी हे सरकार आहे.
पूर्वीच्या सरकारच्या काळामध्ये निधी देताना त्यांना असं वाटायचं की त्यांच्याच खिशातले पैसे चालले. शेतकऱ्यांना मोफत वीज देण्याचं काम आपल्या सरकारने सुरू केलं.
This week on India Ascends. All eyes on upcoming Rio G20. India poised to mend emerging economies, G7 divisions. Trump 2.0. Is it time up Trudeau? Ottawa stares at fresh turmoil. Chinese security personnel in Pakistan. Is it Beijing's bid to colonize Islamabad? And in Bangladesh, why does Attorney General want secular removed from the constitution? All this and more only on India Sense with me, Gauri Dwivedi, at these timings on the NDTV network.
The last elections of 2024. It's the battle for India's economic heart. An election that will decide Maharashtra's future.
Can the big brother BJP manage the competing ambitions of Mahayuti? Can the Red Book rally the voters once again for Congress and its allies? So as Maharashtra's future trajectory takes shape, we report from the ground.
Two visions, two ideology, one verdict.
An election where no caste chemistry can yield a perfect formula.
It's a state that is splintered with power battles. The big question, will Maharashtra poll outcome unify parties or divide them further? And who will emerge as Maharashtra's undisputed leader?
every stage of your life, you have
Home Minister Amit Shah chairs key security meeting on Manipur. Ally NPP withdraws support to Biren Singh government. Arvind Kejriwal's top minister quits the Aam Aadmi Party. Top Delhi Mantri Kailash Gehlot dumps the Aam Aadmi Party ahead of elections. Gehlot says AAP failed Delhi. Meanwhile, Aam Aadmi Party hits back, says Gehlot quit under pressure from the central agencies. Congress's second complaint to Election Commission of India against the BJP. Misleading and divisive social media post by Jharkhand BJP, says the Congress. INB minister ignites debate over news on social media. Ministers to big tech pay better for traditional news. Union minister raises algorithm menace on social media. Nigeria confers top honor to Prime Minister Modi. Prime Minister conferred Grand Commander of the Niger in Nigeria. Prime Minister Modi's first leader after Queen Elizabeth to get this honor. Rohit Sharma to miss first test match at Perth. KL Rahul returns to nets after practice injury. Hello, good evening and welcome to NDTV. I am Ankit Tyagi. News coming in from Manipur, where the tensions are peaking at this moment. In fact, Union Minister has chaired a security meeting on Manipur, and now the security forces are said to have changed their strategy. Home Minister has chaired the security meeting on Manipur, and a larger meeting with the MHA officials is going to take place tomorrow. Meanwhile, in the latest development, ally of the BJP in the state of Manipur, NPP has decided to withdraw its support from the Manipur government over its lack or failure to try and to bring peace as far as the state is concerned, which has been volatile, ladies and gentlemen, with these sporadic incidents of violence continue, which are taking place since over a year now. Well, let me very quickly, in fact, go across to my colleagues. Ratnadeep Chaudhary, who is joining us from Guwahati. Meanwhile, Aishwarya joins us from the national capital on this meeting. Ratnadeep, coming to you first. The situation on the ground remains very, very tense now after the rise or in the violence yesterday. The houses of ministers, including the chief minister, being attacked. Now, what's the situation on the ground? And NPP withdrawing support may not put Biren Singh government in danger, but morally, it's a blow.
Absolutely. The timing of this withdrawal of the outside support that National People's Party had given the Biren Singh-led government is very crucial. It comes at a time when perhaps numerically it does not affect the Biren Singh-led government. However, it really is kind of a setback for the BJP, particularly the state unit of the BJP. Remember, although Conrad Sangma-led NPP is a key ally of the BJP in Northeast, when it comes to Manipur, the relationship between NPP and the state unit of the BJP had been rather strained, and the last election the NPP actually fought against the BJP when after the elections NPP was not part of the government. Rather the Biren Singh led government did not entertain NPP, and it was later that the 7 NPP MLAs had given their outside support, although the BJP really didn't needed that. So therefore, the Bon Haumi had always been not that good in when it comes to Manipur, but the timing is very crucial, and the very strongly worded statement that has come from NPP clearly suggests that now NDA partners are also changing their stand when it comes to the crisis in Manipur. Remember, the main opposition party there, the Congress, has come out to say that their MLAs are ready to resign if that solves the matter, if that kind of resolves the matter. So Congress also trying to corner the government, given the fact that the civil society groups have given an ultimatum to the elected representatives, including the ministers, to press upon centre for a decisive action against armed groups. So this or they have threatened that there would be further agitation.
Okay.
And as you have pointed out, that the properties and houses of MLAs have also been targeted. Now, therefore, perhaps these meetings which are taking place in the national capitals assume huge significance, because already there is huge deployment of forces. But politically, as of now, there is no danger for the BJP government. But morally, perhaps the fact that the opposition and allies are attacking the government puts the Biren Singh-led government in a spot of bother.
Well, Biren Singh government has been in a spot of bother since over a year. Numbers may be with them, but the fact is that the chief minister sitting there while the state burns has raised a lot of questions, not only by the opposition, but also from the people on the ground. But Shwarya, this also in a way reflects with on the strategy of the central government. It's been over a year, May 3rd, when this incident last year started, and we are now ending 2024. The government, in fact, has failed at this moment to bring in some sort of peace, and that is why possibly there is a thought on the change of strategy.
Well, perhaps that is the reason Home Minister Amit Shah today reviewed the security situation in Manipur and directed top officials to take all possible steps to ensure peace in the state of Manipur as well. Now, remember, yesterday only there was a directive that was issued to the central forces who are deployed in the Manipur, that they should bring back peace and normalcy in the state, and all efforts need to be made regarding that. Now, tomorrow, we have been told that Amit Shah will be holding a larger meeting with senior officials over there at the MHA tomorrow afternoon. Remember, it was today Amit Shah was was supposed to be in Vidarbha for his election rally, but he cancelled that particular tour because of the prevailing situation of law and order in the state of Manipur. And it was DG of the CRPF, Anish Dayal, who was rushed to the state of Manipur. Today, there were coordinated efforts that was being made, consolidated meetings being planned by the state government officials as well as the CRPF Jawan, the Assam Rifles, the Indian Army as well. And, to bring any sort of solution, the Home Minister clearly had directed them to take all possible steps to ensure peace after the bodies that were recovered and the clashes that were reported in the state of Manipur. So, yes, tomorrow would be an important meeting, but new directions the Home Ministry can give is something that remains to be seen, but perhaps a very difficult situation at this stage where Manipur has seen fresh clashes.
Manipur remains a big challenge for the central government and, of course, the state government, as the situation remains there, continues to, in fact, deteriorate at this moment. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining me at this moment. In fact, moving on in a massive setback to the Aam Aadmi Party, just months ahead of the elections in Delhi, which are expected to take place in February 2025. Senior Minister and long-term party leader of the Aam Aadmi Party, Kailash Gehlot, has resigned, not only as a minister, but also from the primary membership of the party. Chief Minister Atishi has accepted Mr. Gehlot's resignation. In his resignation addressed to party convener Arvind Kejriwal, the 50-year-old leader pointed out grave challenges for the Aam Aadmi Party, which it is facing from within. Meanwhile, hours after Delhi minister quit, former BJP MLA Arvind Jha, two-time MLA, joined the Aam Aadmi Party, citing dissatisfaction with the BJP leadership and with Arvind Kejriwal highlighting his influence in the Purvanchal community and unauthorized colonies. Jha is a two-time legislator from the Kirari constituency.
In a major setback for the Aam Aadmi Party ahead of the upcoming assembly polls, senior leader and top minister Kailash Gehlot has resigned from the primary membership of the party and the Council of Ministers. Right after he put up his resignation, Delhi Chief Minister Atishi accepted it. Gehlot was a two-time MLA from Delhi's Najafgarh. In a letter addressed to the Aam Aadmi Party chief, Gehlot said, "Political ambitions have overtaken the party's commitment towards people, leaving many promises unfulfilled." Reacting to his resignation, the Aam Aadmi Party said Gehlot was under pressure from central agencies like the Enforcement Directorate and the CBI.
देखिए, उनके ऊपर भी ईडी और सीबीआई के काफ़ी केसेस चल रहे थे, इनकम टैक्स के केसेस भी चल रहे थे, उनके परिवार पर भी चल रहे थे और निश्चित तौर पर भाजपा ने अपने गंदे षड्यंत्र के तहत वापस से अपना एलाइज सीबीआई और ईडी को सक्रिय कर दिया है और इस बार उन्होंने जेल की स्ट्रगल से बेहतर बीजेपी जाना समझा।
Delhi BJP president has also said that the Aam Aadmi Party's own leaders are showing them the mirror and that Kailash Gehlot took a bold step for the greater good of the people of Delhi.
कैलाश गहलोत के इस्तीफे का मैं स्वागत करता हूं, लेकिन साथ ही साथ अरविंद केजरीवाल तुम्हारे भ्रष्टाचार की जो गाथा लिखी गई है, कैलाश गहलोत ने आज उसका एक आईना भर दिखाया है। अरविंद केजरीवाल के साथ जो लुटेरों का गैंग बना हुआ है, अब उसमें वहाँ हर वो आदमी जो दिल्ली को अच्छी दिल्ली बनाना चाहता है, बेहतर दिल्ली बनाना चाहता है, वो वहाँ रुकेगा नहीं, उनको छोड़ के बाहर आएगा।
In another parallel development, senior BJP legislator Anil Jha, who is a two-time MLA from Kirodi, joined hands with the Aam Aadmi Party.
दिल्ली में दो सरकारें हैं, एक दिल्ली की राज्य सरकार है और एक दिल्ली में केंद्र सरकार है। दोनों सरकारों के पास दिल्ली के संबंध में पावर भी हैं और रिसोर्सेज भी हैं। केंद्र सरकार के पास तो अथाह पैसा है, कोई कमी नहीं है। 6800 किलोमीटर की मैंने सीवर पाइपलाइन डलवाई है, 10,000 किलोमीटर की मैंने सड़कें बनवाई है, 6800 किलोमीटर की मैंने नालियां बनवाई है, पता नहीं कितने काम करवाए हैं, कितने मोहल्ला क्लिनिक, कितने स्कूल बनवाए हैं हम लोगों ने।
अनिल झा हमारे पुराने साथी हैं और अब देखिएगा वो जिस योजना से गए वो वापस भी आएंगे।
Ahead of the assembly elections, a lot of political development took place in Delhi today, where on one hand, a senior Aam Aadmi Party leader Kailash Gehlot resigned from the party today. On the other hand, senior BJP legislator Anil Jha joined hands with Aam Aadmi Party today. While both the parties are accusing other of the corruption and the lack of work, inside of Delhi, it is yet to be seen how this new development is going to impact the upcoming assembly polls. With camera person Pavan Kumar, this is Anushka Garg for NDTV.
Meanwhile, NCP Sharad Pawar, Chief Sharad Pawar's bags were checked by the poll officials at Baramati helipad in Maharashtra's Pune district on Sunday morning. According to his associates, Pawar was on his way to attend a political rally in Solapur. Now, this has become like a show and tell as far as the Election Commission is concerned. Election Commission officials also checked bags